Hey, welcome back to the Insight series. Today's topic, we're going to talk about why open houses. What is the importance of an open house? Obviously, when we're doing a listing, right, we're putting a home up for sale. A lot of us just kind of acknowledge that open houses are part of that experience, part of that endeavor. But on occasion, on a rare occasion, I will get a seller who will challenge me on the notion of open houses, largely around the time investment, right? Particularly when the home is occupied and we're generating some type of inconvenience in order to facilitate open houses. So in this episode of the Insight series, we're going to explore why open houses, what is the importance of them, do they work? And we're going to try and do it in that order, best I can. Open houses present a unique opportunity for the sale of the home. Ideally, and really point one, an opportunity for consideration. It is rare, I fully acknowledge, it is rare that the buyer for your home is going to walk into your open house. That's a volume thing, right? A lot of times that has more to do with the fact that the prospective buyers are in their discovery phase while they're going through open houses and they're learning, right? But it can happen. It has happened, right? You'll have folks that'll kind of scurry off into the other room and clump up. And you'll see them having a very engaged conversation amongst themselves. This is usually a couple. And as a more experienced agent, I can detect this pretty easily. Oh, there's some strong interest here. There's a possibility that this might be a good fit for them in terms of a housing option. That has happened numerous times. Okay? It's not the typical outcome of an open house. Which brings us to the second point of why an open house. It gives the agent present the opportunity to overcome objections, right? In a space that is comfortable for prospective buyers to have a conversation, okay? And share their notions and feelings. We have to remember there are hundreds of thousands of folks in the villages, okay? Every single one of them has had a unique experience. Every single one of them is going to have a different outlook and perspective, and almost all of them are going to be willing to share it with your prospective buyer on your home. This constant flow of information is going to some degree or another, start shaping the buyer's perspective, okay? And when they come into an open house, oftentimes I find this is a great opportunity for me to add some clarification to their understanding, okay? Get away from the strong opinions and get more into the facts behind the matters. How does that help you as a seller to get your home sold? Indirectly, by overcoming these objections, we are, in fact, progressing the buyer to a decision, one way or the other, okay? May not be your home, might be another home, okay? But because there's a network of open houses occurring, your buyer is probably in another open house somewhere having a similar experience, okay? Which brings me to point three. Open houses work as a network. It's the agents working with folks, overcoming these objections, progressing the sale, getting folks the services that they need, the information that they need, so that they can feel comfortable making a decision that is going to spur the volume of sales. And by its very nature, your home, if it is a properly presented consideration, is going to get caught up in that, right? Your buyer will probably meet their agent in an open house if they weren't referred somebody or they didn't go ahead on the internet and pick at random, okay? Or perhaps they did some research and they decided that that was an agent that fit them. But a lot of times folks meet their agent at an open house. So, do open houses work? It depends on what you're expecting from them, okay? If you are looking for the open house to be a sounding board for what is and isn't working in the marketplace in terms of your presentation, absolutely open houses work. It is the premium place to get direct feedback on what is and isn't working, okay? It has to be filtered, right? This is really gonna come down to your agent. It has to be filtered and taken in context, okay? There is always going to be a group of people who are going to feel it's advantageous to come in and shake their finger at the price and say too high. You know, obviously they want to pay less. That's why we have comps. That's why we go through the CMA process. That's why we have a solid understanding of the value of the home. And if we're doing it right, we can also help the prospective buyers who don't really have a clear understanding of how pricing works in the villages, because it is different. So as I was saying, pricing in the villages is a little different. Price per square foot doesn't really have as much play here currently as it would in a lot of other spaces. We're not going to get into a deep conversation about pricing. I went on and on and on about that in episode 4 or 3, and so we'll set that aside. But in an open house environment, it is an opportunity for your agent to educate the prospective consumer on the value of your home, point blank. And for lack of that, a prospective buyer who may have had a strong interest but not a confident position may wind up passing on your home because they weren't able to have that conversation in lieu of the open house existing. So, the other major point on why open houses work, your neighbors, okay? The marketplace here as of late has become very segmented, which is a departure from 10, 15 years ago. Your neighbors can be key in the success of your sale. They oftentimes will have friends or family who have a strong interest in your particular neighborhood. And if your home fits even the minimum criteria, it's probably going to be a consideration. Your neighbors are very, very, very likely, possibly within the first 2 weeks of the home being open, to come in, get an impression, and share that impression with their prospective friends and family there who might have an interest in buying. So that is paramount. They're probably not going to do that if you don't have an open house and we don't present them that opportunity. So these are all the reasons why open houses are valuable, right? Particularly here in the villages. I worked in the Ocala market many moons ago. And I did open houses and nobody came to the open houses. So in the villages, this is a network that produces results when executed properly, and that's going to come down to your agent again, but when executed properly, this is a network that produces results, okay? But you have to make the time investment. Now, if your home is vacant, this isn't a huge thing for you. Yeah. I think we'll leave it there. I think I've made my point. Hopefully that adds some value and some understanding to open houses and the role that they play in the sale of the home. So again, I thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us today on the Insight series. If you have any questions or concerns, if you have a different opinion or outlook on this, please feel free to share it in the comment section. I will do my best to respond. Thanks for joining us. Be good to each other. Be good to yourself. We'll see you on the next one.